back. Alright, I got the buggy all built, and man, it was a pain in the ass, just to be honest with you. I mean, my other kits, they went together pretty good, pretty quick, you know, 1 or 2 days, and I could have it mint, flawless, ripping. I mean, there's only 2 gripes I got. I remember when we talked the last time, or not when we talked the last time, a couple of videos ago, I mentioned that that center thing was going to be a problem, this. And it was. Dude, these screws right here are like this long. And they're so tight that I was stripping, okay, pain in the ass. I had this servo, okay, that I wanted to run here. It wouldn't fit inside this hole. Okay, like the case of it was too big. So I had to run this old ass, check this out, vintage, old school, babe. So I threw that in there because it worked. And another thing is you got to put on these stupid freaking horns that go underneath here. They're like adapters, because this is like got like a big universal socket, and then you just buy, they include these hats that go over the top of your servo splines. Well, for whatever reason, these are 25 spline, and this JR is a 23. The 25s will not fit on my Futaba servos, because I remember when I had my e-buggy, I had the same servo, and I had the same problem. But anyway, got it mounted up, got everything dialed, but it needs to be trimmed out and shit. I mean, it's look at the alignments. I just haven't done anything to it. Somebody commented on one of my videos that that big square lipo pack that went back here on the 4.0, the big one, wouldn't fit in here. Yeah. Tell me it won't fit. It's in there right now, like a glove. So I don't run a switch because the switches go bad. I just plug them in and out. I don't know, man. This thing was a pain in the ass to get together. I mean, it took me like 3 days, whatever it took me. I worked on it like 10 hours straight. So, and I tell you what, when I started having problems with this and this, with these screws and all that, dude, I about threw the thing in the garbage. I knew it was going to be an issue right off the rip, and what happened? Issue. So, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's together now. Like I said, I did the starter box, modified the box, because it won't work on this buggy. If you got this Losi box, it's your regular Team Losi racing box. You gotta move this wheel over. It's over here. You just gotta move it over. And there's a video, you can check it out. And it's money. Okay? That's what's up. Anyway, I'm tired. I just got this thing put together. There was a big race. Or there is a big race tomorrow that I'm going to. Indoor electric. So I can't wait to get there, but I mean, they got this really long.
That's one of the reasons that I stopped subscribing to the guy. His name's Mike B. I learned a lot from this guy. he does E-word too. He's the one that taught me how to head shim. Okay, the reason I'm showing you guys this, by the way, welcome all Chuggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, Muggy Maniacs, yeah, Monster Truck Maniacs, welcome, newbies especially, and 5th scale Insaniacs. Now let me show you this last one and then we'll get into this whole thing. Now this guy has been building Losis. This guy, his name's Mike B. Okay, you can look up his channel. Okay, this is the real shit. This is the only guy that I've seen, and I've talked to him before. He's actually pretty cool. That actually did an unboxing all the way, building, running, testing, tuning, the whole deal on the 8X. And up until I seen this video This was not too long ago. I was thinking at a time that I was going to get an 8X because I like the fact that Losi just changed everything. Basically tossed out everything but the 3 diffs. It's the only thing that didn't change from the 4.0 race buggy to the 8X is the differentials. The 3 diffs in them are the same as in the 4.0. There's no need to change them. They're one of the best. I mean, I give them that. But they changed everything else. And there was a time, and you can watch the video I have where I was looking at it like, man, okay, Losi's making a step in the right direction. You know, okay, who knows? Maybe I might get one of these 8Xs. And I was going to get one. Whether you guys know this or not, you know now. Until I seen these videos that this guy put up. And he's legit. He's the equivalent of John Bodegel, how John is as far as truggies. This guy is like that, but with buggies. He's into his Losi buggies. He's built 2.0, 3.0, 4. He's built them all. And so I give him his word is a lot of credibility. And this was one of the reasons that I didn't want to buy an X. So I'm just putting this out there, keeping it real. So watch this one. This one will really trip you out.
Now let's take a look at some of their kits. Let's
Okay, let's start it from the beginning. Sorry about that.
After I made that video at the track the other day, bam. Now I'm going to tell you why this happened. And I did call Horizon. I told them about it. I didn't complain from the standpoint as I wanted them to fix it or replace it. I mean, I kind of take responsibility for it because the first, day and a half that I was there, the car wasn't perfect, so we had a few crashes. Nothing major, some pretty big bobbles, but, nothing like head on into a wall or nothing. More or less just, cartwheeling the car and, getting the wheel nut caught up on the pipe ridges, and that's pretty brutal as well. But when they tell you to build the kit, they want you to use this. And this thing looks like it's a good idea, but it's not as soft and forgiving as you might think, as from the standpoint of how much can you actually compress this thing. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that thing to move but maybe a couple millimeters. So anyway, here we go again with the camera tricks. But you can see how it's got those ridges in it from where it was deformed from being inside the servo saver. The problem that I noticed is this thing is a lot bigger than, it's a lot bigger than, it's hard to see, but it's got like a little raised portion under here that the spring, it's like a pocket. Okay, bottom line is don't use this, okay, because it made my steering, the servo saver, stick. Because it was catching and rubbing, it wasn't allowing it to move free. So if the servo saver actuated, it wouldn't click back into place. So for example, if I hit a pipe and you put the steering back in neutral, the car would like veer off to one side like it was broke. So you have to grab the car, grab it by the wheel, and like jam it back into. So I ran this. This comes with the spring and this, and I think the kit tells you to use this, but do not use it. Okay. It caused me to really ratchet down. I mean, you could see where I was just reefing on this thing, something awful. And now I've got it set with the spring. Use the spring in the kit, because it comes with that spring and that. Just don't. I don't know what you can do with this. Maybe toss it or whatever you want to do. Just don't use it. Okay, it's not gonna work. And then, we broke this, and okay. Now that I've got the spring on there, I can actually hold the steering servo arm here and take the wheel, and you can actually watch this thing visually work the right way. But anyway, my whole reason for making this video was I've had the Losis forever. Okay, I just had the 8-scale buggies forever because they always were reliable. And I just start to ask myself, is this something that's going to be an issue in the future for these guys? I mean, that just, to me, that looks thin when you compare it to other kits. And we're gonna take a look at a couple of the kits here. But this is partly my fault because of having that over tightened. I mean, I even broke a fucking servo horn, but it was a really cheap, flimsy, thin one. So But here's the biggest problem. This isn't such a big issue. I'm partially to blame for this. The biggest problem is right here. 66 bucks? I don't think so, man. Now you're just pricing your average everyday guy right out of this stuff, which is exactly what I am. So you can see, you know, what they look like. And now let's take a look at some other kits. Let's go to Kyoto just came out with this new MP10. Looks like a nice car. Parts. I feel like fiddling through all these pages real quick here. Doesn't look like I know I just saw him. If I click on that. Okay. Now they won't even show up. Anyway, I mean, oh, that's dicked. Now they won't even pop up. But at the end of the day, the other kits, they're making these a lot better. Okay, I mean, I just went through this and I looked at these other kits. I'm almost going as far as saying, boys, it might be time to jump ship because this hot bodies is looking nice. The problem with the hot bodies though is, I mean, a few years ago they almost went out of business, and you know, good luck finding anything. They're constantly changing the shit, so you know, once they switch, you know, next thing you know, you can't get parts for the stuff no more. So, but I seen some stuff online. It looked legit. It looks really nice and durable. Hot Bodies was one of the most durable cars, right along with the Losi. I mean, that was like the big selling point, in my opinion. You know, to me, looking at that aspect of stuff, Hot Bodies probably makes the most durable cars aside from the Losi. I can't believe that won't pop up, man. Nitro kits. And it was just there. It's a conspiracy, boys. I'm not seeing it.
Come on, Mike, find it. Find that shit.
There they are.
There they are.
No, it's the bottom here. It shows other shit. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get all off track here. If you look at the other Kyosho stuff and the hot bodies, anything that has a steering knuckle, obviously the X-Ray and the Mugen and the Associated, they have a pillow ball deal, so they're not gonna have stuff like this. But I mean, 66 bucks. Why don't you make a plastic one? You know what I mean, like, you know, it doesn't have to be made out of aluminum. Okay, so
66 bucks.
This is what happened.
Hell
like
no!
It's partially my fault, but you know, I never broke any of my other cars, and I'm sure I was, you know, just as prone to making mistakes as I was with this. I mean, I had all my other shit locked down, to be honest with you. I don't like a lot of steering, servo, saver, motion. I want that thing locked in. So anyway, I put the spring in there, and now it works like it's supposed to, and that one's actually pretty tight as well. But I got this techno horn.
Techno, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Trade that shit in, get a techno.
And then another thing was...
Get a real buggy.
This, 6290. Dude, I cannot believe how smooth that thing is.
The 6290 servo. Alright, so now my computer's gonna act weird. So you guys seen enough of that. Anyway, this guy, like I said, welcome everybody. The reason I wanted to show you that, there was a time where I was actually gonna get an 8X. I had no problem with that. Like I said, I'm not anti-Losi guy. I can't stand the fact that Horizon controls them, and that Losi lets them control them.
I was like, $130. I didn't have a ton of cash when I was at the hobby shop. I was like, I'll get that one.
Now he's going to talk about a servo. But anyway, you know, and credit due where credit's due. I've always been critical of Losi because they, to me, growing up in this hobby for over 30 years now, Losi and Associated have always been the top two. Always been. Man, that's the rivalry team. It's Associated versus Losi. And Losi, and I was an Associated guy. I wasn't really the Losi guy, but it was always neck and neck. You know, and then the Adam Drake, you know, came along. I mean, Adam Drake was part of it. You know, got him championships. Brian Kinwall, God rest his soul, which he passed away just not too long ago. You know, legends like him and Adam pioneered all this stuff. Nitro or E-Word. But anyway, I thought about getting a Losi at a time when I knew they were coming out with the 8X. But once you know, I'm not the guy that's going to just go and grab one because, you know, this guy has one or, you know, I mean, even the guy, you know, people that I know that, you know, that have a lot of credibility, you know, say, hey, man, you got to check this out, blah, blah, blah. So let me do some research. I'm not that guy that's just going to go by what anybody says. I don't give a shit if you got 30 years experience, if you own a company, hobby shops, whatever, you know. I'm going to do my research on people that I know that have actually either done a video and built them. This guy, Mike B, watch the whole thing. He's got a whole series from the time he did the unboxing of that 8X all the way up into the running of it, the tuning of it, everything. There's another video he has where he talked about, you know what, in all actuality, this isn't a bad kit. He said it's not a bad kit. He said other than all the issues that he had, he said just there's not a lot of support from Horizon. Or from Losi, which when you say Losi, you might as well just say Horizon. Because it's not Losi, it's Horizon. There's not any support from them. And the problem that he had was, obviously he had numerous problems, but he said it just wasn't competitive enough. He was getting his ass spanked on the track by Kyoshos, by Mugans, by Tech. He said that Losi 8X just wasn't competitive enough. So on a racing standpoint, yeah, I didn't look too much into that. But just as far as durability, I mean, the shit that he was breaking on it, the pain in the ass it was to put together, I was like, hell no. I am not going to spend $700 and some change on one of those. I'd rather, you can get a Mugen MBX 8 for... shit, now you can get them for like 500 and some change. The Truggies are $650, so for $100 less, I would pay $500, almost $200 less, and get a new Mugen MBX 8 before I would buy a Losi. Okay, that guy knows what he's talking about. He's built tons of them. He's a die-hard freaking Losi guy, man. That guy cuts. If you cut him, he bleeds Losi colors. So when he put this out there, this video, that was when I was like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe Losi, that's... And I kind of had a, you know, I already had an indication that Losi wasn't putting out anything quality anyway, and who knows, going to end up discontinuing some more shit. You know, so that didn't surprise me. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because, I mean, I had other people ask me about it, what I thought about the 8X, how come I wasn't looking at that as a buggy, you know. I mean, I don't hate Losi. Losi used to be a great company, you know what I mean? But they're a thing of the past, man. There's no support. That dynasty, I don't know how many times I've told you guys, the Losi dynasty is done. It's over. It was over when Adam Drake left. Losi has no future, as long as Horizon controls it. Okay, that's a fact. That's not just something I'm just saying, talking out my ass. That's a fact. Do your homework. As long as Horizon controls Losi, Dynamite, Hobbyco, those companies, the fate is in the hands of Horizon. If their shit isn't doing that well, they're just going to discontinue it. They might scrap that whole 8X altogether because they still haven't figured it out, like I said. So anyway, this isn't a beat-up Losi type thing. This is just, there you go. There's the facts. Go watch Mike B. I learned a lot from this guy. He's a lot like the Nitro nerd, except he doesn't do all the weird shit. He's very technical. The guy knows his shit to a science. He knows about fucking tuning. He knows about fucking... He does a lot of racing. And the reason I don't subscribe to him anymore, because he does the E-word too. So, and he hasn't really put anything out in a while. But the guy's been around. He's the one that I learned. He has a great video you can watch. It's called Tuning and Head Shimming. He was real critical on reds for a while. He ran reds. And I watched a lot of his video on the reds, but at the end of the day, he said the reds is really good. You know, he goes, I know, you know, and he beat reds up for, you know, ran the hell out of him, and he said, hey, you know what, for around $300, and he still said I wouldn't spend $500, you know, and he's like the average guy like me. I'm not going to go out and spend $500-600 on any motor. Hell no, especially a .21. No way in hell, ever. Never going to happen. The reason I even got these reds is because the deals I got on them. I wouldn't even spend $300 on the one that I just got because it's a .21. I would assume, you know, if I was going to spend $300, that I can get a modified 28.8 Rex Legend, a modified LRP .32, or a modified 28.8 or 28.7 Pico. You know, the pea shooters, like I said, don't really do a lot for me. You know, I'm more into the next level. Next level is the big boy motors modified. That, you know, and race kits. So anyway, you know, I learned how to head shim from that guy, which is a great, once you guys get to that level, for newbies, don't even worry about it. For you guys that are progressing and want to get into it, you know, I might do a video, a full-on video of how you do head shimming. And it's a lot of running. It's a lot of running, tearing down. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Once you get it dialed in, man, that's why I've got my reds, my modified reds, R5 Team Edition, and my Pico. I mean, I've got this thing shimmed and dialed money. Just where I want it. You know, because you can only do so much with the tuning needles and your clutches and your pipes and all that. Your last tuning option, you know, is head shim. Great tuning option, man. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. We'll save that for another video. So, again, I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, I'm just keeping it real, man. Facts. Information. Okay, thank you again for people that you made the comments, you know, on my run that I did yesterday. You know, I know I had some issues, trust me, man, and I kept it real. I could have edited that video. I could have just showed you guys, you know, the part where the front end's pulling up. I could have showed you the, you know, the high notes, you know, the good parts about it, and edited it like most people do. I'm not that guy. I just show you how it is real. Even the Buggy struggles sometimes and has issues. Now, you also look at the other video that I ran after. At the end of the day, I still got the tune that I was looking for. You know? Okay? I didn't settle for, you know, subpar or mediocre. Yeah, you know, it's okay. We'll get them next time. We will get them next time. Okay? We're not done. You know, we got more fuel to run through that Novarossi 28.8 Rex Legend. It keeps on waking up. You know, I did the math wrong. I apologize. I told you guys we're at 2 gallons. We're still about a quart away from 2 gallons. Okay, so this thing is going to continue to get stronger. No issues with the motor. Motor runs great. The issue that I had yesterday was clutch. That sounds funny, huh? Clutch. This is clutch. Clutches are very important. If your clutches aren't functioning, okay, so one problem that I had, the first one, was the clutch, main clutch bolt backed off. Okay? Didn't put enough Loctite. I don't know. It backed off. It is what it is. A lot of times you want to make sure that you use the right set screw in the end of your clutch bill. If it's a screw that goes all the way tight, and when you bottom the screw out in the crank, you know, when you're tightening it up, and your clutch bell doesn't spin freely, then that's probably one that's going to back up on you. What I'm learning is that you want to put in it's a right size clutch screw, you know, standard clutch screw. When you tighten it down all the way, because remember, that length is going to change because you're putting in, when you're shimming, you're obviously going to have to shim your clutch to get it where you want it, depending on the clutch that you're running and your shoes and all that. So anyway, I was running a 14, which I usually run on my truggies. I run 13s on my buggies. Although this one I still got the 16 on there, but I've got the head shim. So, I think I took a head shim out on this one too, but the pipe is more of a bottom end pipe, so we'll see how that runs. I've still got the 16 on there because that runs better on the reds. I might just take that whole reds clutch off because that 16 reds pinion that came with the motor, the R5, this R5 wire that I got, the 16, that clutch and that 16, they fit. It's like the red clutches and the clutch bells go together. For running in this, I couldn't get anything smaller than a 16 on that clutch, unless I might just take the whole clutch off completely. And you know, I've got other 4-shoe clutches or 3-shoe clutches. It's 4 in here right now, but I usually use 3 in my buggies. But anyway, to get back to what we're talking about, the right size set screw in the end. If you go to put it down and you can crank it all the way, and you know, don't strip it out, but you know, crank it nice and tight, and your clutch bell spins freely, that's good, but still put Loctite on it. Now, if you go to crank it down all the way, and as soon as you get it nice and tight, you can't move it, which means you got to back off the set screw to get it to move freely. Even if you put Loctite, which is what I've done before, you don't want to do that. There's too much a chance that it's still going to back off. You want to be able to get it nice and snug, but you got to still be able to, obviously this got to be able to move freely. So that backed off a little bit. I was able to tighten it up on that last video you seen. I finally got a good, you know, a decent idle on it. I got it to settle down. I got it to idle for, you know, for forever. But eventually it loosened up again, obviously, because I mean, I didn't have Loctite there when I was out in the field. The other issue, and the reason why I was having issues with it, is one of my clutch springs is got some slop in it. So when your springs start to lose their tension, I mean, you should be able to pull these shoes back and they should be able to snap back. By the way, if you're running a modified, it's this one right here. I don't know if you guys can even see that. This one right here, when I move it around, it's got slop in it. Your clutch shoes shouldn't have any. You shouldn't be able to move them. They should be on there nice and snug until you put your, like I put my fingernail under here, pull it back and they snap back. But this one right here, it's all loose. You don't want shims in your, you don't want any kind of a tick in your clutch shoes. So when that's loose like that, your shit's not gonna idle right. These things need to be snug on there. Now, other thing too I want to mention, the little set screws in these. This is a Losi 4-shoe clutch, by the way. Loctite those. Blue Loctite these things, because they will loosen up. I'm telling you, the Novarossi 28.8 Rex Legend Stalker modified, especially modified. It's just a torquey motor, so it vibrates a lot. So these are issues that I've learned over the last couple years of running 28.8s. Another thing too, see this little shield? Well, bearing took a shit. So 3 issues. Set screw came loose. Yeah, fix that. Clutch shoe, didn't even know that until I took it apart. Clutch shoe, or clutch spring I should say, has got play in it, so that's going to be replaced. And bearing, done. Shield comes off, done. Run only the ones in your clutches, metal shielded only. Recommended, because these things get hot, they expand. I sometimes would get away with running, you know, the ones with the rubber shields on the outside, because it doesn't get as hot. It still gets hot, but not as hot. And run the ones with the metal on the inside. Well, it doesn't matter. Just to save yourself the hassle, run both sides of the bearing, metal shields on both sides, in your clutch bells. Don't run the other kind, or you're going to have clutch bearing issues. So that's the issue I was having. That's why I couldn't get the thing dialed in. It kept stalling. You know, people were making, you know, thanks for the comments. You know, hey, I take, you know what the issue was, you know. The problem I have with comments a lot of times, like I tell you guys in the past, is just ignorance. Again, I'm going to emphasize that ignorance is no facts or information of what you're talking about. Okay? Lack of information, lack of facts. That's ignorance. If you're going to make a comment on my channel, do your homework, okay? Have some facts behind it, okay? And get your information straight, okay? Don't just talk out your neck, okay? Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get embarrassed, and you're going to get bitch slapped by the Muggy Maniac, period. I'm just keeping it real. And like I said, I mean, my video, I could have edited that. And I keep it real, man. I don't have perfect days. At the end of the day, though, like you seen on that last video, I did get a tune on it. But still, as a whole, there was a lot of, you know, issues I was having because of the clutch. That was the whole thing. And I knew halfway into it that that was my problem. Okay? And I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to say, okay, my clutch isn't, let's shut it down, fuck it, call it a day. I'm still going to get mine. I don't care. As long as the shit still runs, as long as the motor doesn't blow up, as long as I got fuel, I'm running my shit till the wheels fall off. Perfect, imperfect, doesn't idle great, whatever. We're brapping. I don't care. But at the end of the day, I got the results that I was looking for. I troubleshooted. I knew what the problem was. I addressed the issue, and that's what it's about, man. Troubleshooting. Don't just settle for subpar, mediocre performances when you're tuning and running. Address the shit. Figure it out. That's what this is about. And that's why a lot of people can't do nitro, because they can't figure shit out. Whether they don't want to because they're lazy, whatever, it is what it is. So let's give some shout outs, okay? I think I said welcome all newbies, middies, older but goodies. Okay, the Buggy Maniac, by the way, we've got the basics done, at least. I got to take the radio box tray out and clean it, okay? And I've also got to clean, I cleaned the motor already. I had a guy, forgot his name, he's a new subscriber. Welcome again, newbies. He asked me about the 28.8. Is it the motor? Is it, you can just go watch my old videos, and I don't want to sound like a broken record because I get people that ask me questions that I've already given you the answers for. They're just, I guess, too lazy to go watch my other videos or whatever. But anyway, it is what it is. This motor, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, one of the best 28.8s out there, okay? Close to this. Now this is, I'm putting this out here. Close second to this motor in 28s. I mean, I'm talking close. Okay? The only difference is this thing is the easiest to tune. If you can tune a 28.8, don't toot your horn. There's nothing. You want a challenge? Get a Pico, stock or modded, and let me see you tune this thing. This thing is not easy to tune. It took me a while to get it. It's dialed now. It's money now. You guys seen the last video. This thing is money. Purrs like a kitten. Roars like a freaking lion. But it wasn't easy. You can even ask Mr. Za. Picos are one of the hardest motors to tune. They're real finicky. I think the reds at times can be. And ask Roger 111. He'll tell you that the reds are finicky sometimes. Okay, they're delicate. I mean, some of these Italian motors, it's just what it is. They're delicate pieces of machinery. You can't do half turns and hour turns on them. Man, you're gonna just struggle. A lot of times these reds and the Nova Rossi's sometimes too. Minor tune. When I'm talking minor tunes, here's what I'm talking about. When you tune these motors, or when you're adjusting the needles. I hear guys, oh, I turned in an hour. You're way too much, man. I'm talking maybe at the max, 15 minutes. 10, 15. Sure, it's more work and we want it now. I want this shit to run now. I want this damn thing to dial in. You're in the wrong hobby. Go do E-word. Patience. 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 Okay? So when you're tuning, high end, low end, 5, 10, maybe 15 at the most. Even sometimes 15 is too much. I just try to stick with 5 minutes. You guys know like a watch, right? 5 minutes at a time. That's how you got to do it. Okay. If not, you're gonna struggle and you're gonna overtune. You're gonna go back over. You're gonna go overtune. You're gonna have to retune and it's a pain in the ass. Okay. Trust me. Been there, done that. This isn't my first rodeo. This isn't my first Nova Rossi, okay? And it's not going to be my last. I've got 2 more coming, okay? I'd like to find, by the way, shout-outs. We're going to do shout-outs in a second. I got a brand new crank coming for this. This is my stock Nova Rossi 28.8 Rex Legend. I got another a crank. Now, another thing I think I'm going to do, and I found them fairly cheap, I think I'm going to go ceramic bearings. I'm going to change ceramic bearings. I'm going to try them first on the 28.8s. They're not hard to find. They're easy to install. A friend of mine has a Nova Rossi bearing puller, which I would never spend $200 on it because I'm just not going to be changing bearings that much. But he's going to sell it to me for less than $100, and I'm just going to buy it because another thing for me, I'm going not just next level, I'm going to a whole nother level. I'm talking ceramic bearings, I'm talking DLC coated cranks, you know, building the shit, modding the shit myself. I'm getting to that point, okay? I'm still at the level of the modifieds and stuff, but I want to take it to another level as well. But anyway, to answer this guy's question, yes, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, for $190 delivered, less than $200, bone stock, out the box, don't have to do nothing but break it in and tune it. This is the best motor out there. Quality, everything. But, like I said, a close second, and I'm going to get me a couple more of these. I found one more. I'm going to be getting another one of these very soon. They're hard to find, though, because there's not a lot of them out there. They're supposed to be coming out. The guy that was selling these on eBay ordered a bunch of them from Pico. They're making them right now. Who knows when they'll be out, but I found one brand new that I'm going to be getting here soon. But this motor is very close, very torquey. The only difference is, like I said, it's a little bit finickier to tune. Takes more patience to tune this because it doesn't tune as easy as the Novarosi's. Doesn't come with a turbo plug, which sucks. So it has a regular, you know, although I use the LRP Platinum Iridiums, which Mr. Za recommends, in any non-turbo motor, the best plugs to use. Either Novarosi standard plugs are good too, because I use those as well. But as far as these Picos and the LRP .32s, use the Platinum Iridium plugs. Now, like I said, it doesn't have a turbo head, a little bit harder to turn, but, oh, and it's a 7-port. It's not an 8-port. So this thing doesn't, it screams, but it doesn't have that where it continues to you know, want to keep going like the Nova. But it's $50 cheaper. So this is very, very, for a newbie, I don't recommend it really because, I mean, even though the price is cheap, because it's just more work. If you want a decent motor that's decent price still and going to be a lot easier for you to learn to tune on and everything, this is the best motor. Hands down. Stock or modded. Obviously, you can't beat modded. You think stock's good? I have both. Stock is badass, yes. But next level is modified. This thing's nasty. Period. And I just want to continue. I just want to continue to run this thing. We're getting to 2 gallons, like I said now. I thought it had 2 gallons. We still got about a quart away, but man, I just want to keep on running it. But you know, I have other motors to move on to. I like to give all my children fair shake. We're gonna run this one. The newbie's gonna be coming by. A newbie friend of mine getting into nitro. We're crossing him over from E-Word that he's trying to hang on to. I'm gonna get him into nitro. You know, he has a Traxxas, garbage. He's got a Kyosho road car, which I want to see. So hopefully we'll get that on video. He's kind of camera shy, so I told him, listen, you just hold the camera, let me do all the talking. Although keep in mind, I might be talking shit since you have Traxxas and Red Cats and all that RTR scrub shit. He goes, no, I just want to learn, you know. I go, I'm just going to try to, you know, keep it as real as I can and save you a lot of headaches. So we're probably going to run this one later on today, hopefully. We're going to get the stock Reds R5R out there. I've done a few different changes on it, pipe mostly. Clutch and gearing still the same. But I need to run more fuel through this. I want to get this up to 1 gallon because this thing's brand new. So I can start shimming this thing down too. I want to shim the head on this too. Reds, they like to be shimmed. Like I said, I shimmed my modified R5 Team Edition. This one here. Look at that. You want to see a sexy ass of a motor? Look at that. That's quality. See that? Look at that. Sexy. That's called a diamond backplate. Sexiest backplates that I've ever seen. This motor is just sexy, period, man. For a pea shooter, man. I love this motor. I'm so glad I got this motor modded, man. And this is like a $500 motor. And I paid $150 for it on eBay. Had like less than 1 gallon through it. Mint condition. So anyway, I love this motor. I got to get this motor running again too. That one's just ready to go. It's dialed in. I have to do nothing to it. Just fire it up and let her rip. So anyway, what else? Oh, another issue. You guys know I had the issue with the servo. I've got Savox is taking care of me. I've got my package ready. I just got to get the labels printed out that they're sending me, so I don't pay for shipping. Probably in a week I'll get some new sav boxes. And it is what it is, you know. If they go out later, they go out later. I'm just using for backups. The JXs I have no problems with so far. So we'll be sticking with those. Now, one issue that I did have, and I want to put this out there too because I think it's important. Let me show